Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. This is going to be a daily message. I'm going to do a reading tonight. I have some more visions and things that happened when I traveled. There's still more to be done, but I figured that I would share the progress. And for this reading, before I started and I pulled out the cards, it felt like it's almost like the feeling of just getting paid. And it doesn't need to be money, it could be resources, it could be both. But there's just the excitement of knowing the day when you get paid, knowing the day when your direct deposit comes in or something, even though maybe technically it's supposed to be Friday, but then your bank lets it in like a day or two earlier. And so you have all these plans and those days set. It does feel like those immediate priorities are covered first with the Eight of Wands. Because, immediately you may have certain bills that you need to pay for, or the necessities with the food and hygienic products, even other supplies that are needed. And it could be investments too that you don't see results from right away. There's a sense of doing things when you don't exactly have all of the resources or all of the information right now. With the Two of Earth and the Eight of Air, there's definitely a push to make the progress before the time comes where it gets it's like the time is approaching type of energy. Too much going on at once, a need to make a decision, complete, more playful approach, and then an illusion of being trapped, lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action with the Eight of Air. But knowing the thing that you're trying to go for is worthwhile, with falling in love with the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition, a new home. And I feel like a lot of times, you go through this where, especially if you're going through getting out of college and going on a career path or a new career path, where it's almost kind of like a starting wage, and then you get the priorities done with pay those off or finish the tasks, and then it kind of reemerges where I guess maybe the days go by or the water creeps up again, where you're having these same things that you need to take care of. There is the need to have confidence in the process. You have the Seven of Fire here with the Knight of Water. So the Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands: defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, choose your battles wisely. Along with the Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, contemplative, falling in love with or wedding proposals, a need to balance emotions, an invitation to a social event. Because I feel, and I think it is really noticeable when you go into an area that you're really passionate about and you're more driven, you want to do and learn more things about the path that you're on. And there's just so much motivation and inspiration hits, and all of a sudden you have all these new creative ideas and ways to express those emotions and the passion that you have for it. It just gives off a different type of energy. And there's just a sense of like the deep rootedness of that too. Like it feels like your heart is pretty set on it. So you have the Knight of Water, the Knight of Cups, and then it goes up to the King of Cups for the present. A little bit of, I feel like a confidence boost there too. And I did what was a little bit of a different video, like the Gemini video, because it is Gemini season. And it's just been going rogue. Like after I took the visa test, like after the drive back, and it was just a little bit of a journey because the closest location is still in the state that my godmother lives in, but it's outside of New York City. And you hit New York City traffic because it was like midday. It took a little less time to get there when I got there early, and luckily I got there earlier than the call was for, because it took me a while to navigate the city and to find the area that I was supposed to park in. Luckily they had a parking area. But on the drive back, like there was a car accident on the other side of the freeway, and it was like the car was totaled. And then I was in Dollar Tree just picking up stuff, and I was like near a kid who got caught shoplifting. And then I saw like a stray, it may have been somebody's cat that was outside, but in the US, it's, at least in these types of areas that I live in, it's not common for you to keep your cat outside. Most cats stay inside, or they're indoor cats. So I'm really feeling like the Gemini season really kicked off, and I'm hoping that the ideas, the passion, the drive to do things that you feel like are fulfilling in life, it really is going to be a good set foundation that you can work off of. I would be careful with being driven but not being in the right mindset. Like if you're super frustrated and you're angry about something, maybe to level your mind out and then make your decision from there when you're calmer. So there's a lot of water energy in this reading, but I really feel like the emphasis is on that Earth or Pentacles card, the only Pentacles card that I see in the deck, of really being able to pace yourself and to make decisions, because if you try to do things all at once, maybe it's not the right time to do them, and you might be forcing these things to happen when maybe it's more of a blessing to have a timeline or to have that gap where you can make it your own. And to make like good business decisions, since like you may have just gotten something, and the balance of being frivolous or like cautious with money. Like sometimes we invest in things and then they pay off in the end, but it varies with every situation. One extreme situation, if you were to start a business and then you really loved this hobby and then you wanted to turn it into like more of something that you can make money off of and live off of, a lot of times we usually keep our day job until we are able to say, I can sell 500 of these in a month and I could pay off what I need to pay off and then have X amount of money to put towards like the savings, or to have like money on a rainy day, and to even have money to spend when you want to maybe go shopping or to do something that you really enjoy. The Knight of Water really links to the Ten of Air, the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better now, recovering from an addiction. So I feel that this really comes into play where, of course, you want to spend money on this or you want to do this, just to make sure you know, like, if I just spent 40 hours working, is this money worth going to this because I worked really hard for it? But there's the Sun card. The Sun card is a specific card for this reading, and then the Star card, both in the major arcana, came out. So the Sun and a happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success, have confidence in yourself. And that was a specific message because I was getting like mother message again. And it does feel like a sense of wanting to be in a happy like home situation as well. And that could be either in person or it could be distant. It could be like you're going to be with somebody and it would be ideal to get along with their parents and the relatives. I feel like it's that type of energy, and like it's almost as if like people, or they pay attention to you more than you know, like my mom watches this or something, and it's kind of like be yourself but also have it like appropriate when the family sees it too, because you don't want to put up like an act and it'll just get tiring, and then it'll just you might like get less motivated to continue that type of act if you're trying to be on your best behavior but not being yourself. Especially with the Seven of Fire, it has been a repeat card. There is the Knight of Water that has been in the past couple of readings too, the last 3 readings from the Angel Tarot. But there is a coming together with it, with the Two of Water. And it's something that either you've wanted, and it could have been like, the first word that came to mind is that you resisted it. It could be like the resistance of change, like against the tides. And then finally it's like, it's worth my investment because I've waited so long, and I've like been umming and ahhing whether I should pull the trigger on it or whether I should like confirm that yes, this is what I'm gonna go for. The Two of Water, a relationship that continues to get closer, forgiveness, a positive resolution of a conflict. And then this Six of Water in the past position is the memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. There's also a specific message too of when you might be surrounded by maybe a company or different types of people, an environment, or a situation that is linked to the types of resources and money that you have. Because one of the main things that I have said it before is that you need to know how to play the game. Even if you don't want to know how to, or you don't want to play the game like that, it's good to know what their rules are. And it's up to you whether or not you want to abide by those rules or make a switch up and see if you can go around it. The future is the Knight of Fire, Knight of Wands, and the Three of Water. So, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, restless. In the present, it's the water, and now, well, the past was like the fire. The fire could have been something that wasn't exactly tamed or confined. It kind of feels like energy of wanting to be yourself at the full extent, but not necessarily keeping in mind of the other people you might burn along the way. Because fire is something that you don't just like have children just handle, or it's not open to where you could just have it in a bathtub and just do whatever with it. Fire is something that you're constantly keeping an eye on, and it's one that it can be directed and used with caution, but used in an efficient way. And with that, it's the Three of Water. That also linked to the past, but it's with the future card too. A celebration, a wedding, graduation, birth announcement, a need to have more fun. And that kind of goes with the playful approach and need to have more fun. It kind of feels like an energy of flowing with the current, as water does. It's one that's really malleable, and it takes shape of stuff that whatever you feel water in. So that could be like a type of adaptation and an energy that you could go into as well. It could be a good one for the summertime too, when we approach Cancer season. And with that, an approach of being malleable but also having boundaries too. So quickly go into the Ace of Wands, another obstacle card, with the Hanged Man being an overall energy. There does feel like there is a threshold, and it keeps linking back to money, which is why I feel like Earth is one of those dominant energies or elements in this reading, even though there's just one that's represented here, because it's one where there's like a threshold of, say, like in compounded prescriptions in the pharmacy. For our pharmacy, we don't bill insurance with it. A lot of times it doesn't go through insurance too. One of the main things that the insurance companies are going to look for when they either have a drug on the formulary or list of drugs that they're willing to cover, they're going to want to see the active ingredient or ingredients in the medication for these marketed products. And obviously when you compound a prescription, you're making it from scratch, so you're not going to have that type of resource or that information that's, I would say, immediately available. And of course you can ask the pharmacist to give that paperwork to you if you're if the pharmacy is within your network and you're trying to get a reimbursement. With that, we have set prices because it varies depending on what country you're in, but healthcare is expensive in America. And say it's like the ketamine spray, and so you could get maybe 20 milliliters of 100 milligrams of ketamine nasal spray, but the price isn't going to vary significantly if you try to lower, or if the doctor sent a prescription for maybe 12 milliliters. It might be a couple of dollars difference. And then sometimes the patients might ask, well, I asked for less, and then it's not that much less, because there's a set price that, or that threshold where we keep it at least at like $70, and then from there the price goes up. So it's definitely more at that starting point of the amount that you would pay for the little to no amount of ketamine that you're getting. But just put it in perspective, to get 1 kilo, I believe it's definitely a couple $100. It's definitely over $500 to get 1 kilo of pure chemical of ketamine. So it's, of the business perspective too, is you have to make money in order to or you have to spend money, in order to make money. So it's like, what is it, 100% margin is it 100% margin? When you're marking it up, the margin and markup, one of them is 100%, and that doubles it. So whatever you bought the product for, you're doubling it in price to make that profit back. I hope it wasn't too jumbled, but so I wouldn't worry with the 5 of Cups, because the 5 of Cups is like, man, I see this water rising again, and I just covered this. But it'll just be a like cycle, and then as you move forward, you'll know what works, what doesn't work, what's more efficient, what is less efficient. And the more that it gets easier and you're able to do things maybe in a way where you could make more money off of it and spend less time doing it. I feel like that's essentially what it is when you go to college, or that's kind of like, you spent so much money, you spent over $30,000, and some people spend significantly more than that to get themselves through college in America. It's like you have these shitty jobs, and now you're able to get something that is hopefully more to your liking because you spent years to get that degree. You have the Queen of Swords and the Five of Wands. A little bit of hiccups with those vibes. I'll put 55 as an angel number in the description bar. And then it's the Hermit card with the Moon card, the Hermit and Moon being in the Major Arcana, and the Strength card too, and the Hanged Man. Since this is such a heavy water energy, there's going to be, I feel like the nighttime where there's a lot of push and pull with that, I would say feminine energy. And it's not bad to be like a guy in feminine energy. It doesn't really, I guess, determine it's not a bad thing. So with the Moon card, it's interesting. It's like bringing in things that you really cherish, and since there's the animals there, making sure like the animals are able to get along. Like if you're and not like in a disrespectful way, if you're bringing a new family member in, or if you're going to be with somebody and you're trying to have everything go as smoothly as possible and wanting everyone to be okay, I feel like it'll be a good thing that there's that threshold there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and the Hanged Man too, with the overall energy. With this one, I'm getting like it's important to keep track of things. Like track of supplies and writing things down. That type of remembering. And you don't need to literally do it to write things down, but to just keep track of the things that you're doing and even saying, and to make sure that you get your bases covered. This could also be linked to like keeping records of stuff, or even retrieving records. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye. Did I cover the Strength card? I'm so sorry. I didn't. With the Seven of Wands and the Strength card. It's surprising. Well, the Strength card is Leo energy. And then I feel like it really links to the Earth energy too. Since Leo energy isn't gonna be until around August when that cycle is there, there is a sense of patience with the Hanged Man and the Strength card. That if you can just go a little further and really know that what you're getting or what you're looking forward to is already yours or already there. With the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords, if she wants it, she'll get it. There isn't really ifs, ands, or buts. Like it's already hers. She like already determined it. So the Seven of Wands, it's kind of feels a little relentless, if I'm being honest, which can't, it could be a good thing. I would say some people might question that, but if you're so driven, and maybe those are synonyms, but they could be a little of a stretch for some people. But if you're driven to do something and you feel like there's a sense of purpose or meaning behind it, I'd keep working at it. But maybe it's just my personality type too. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye.